Professor, if Biden refuses to act as a sort of modern day FDR and refuses to implement a social democratic agenda, more or less, do you fear that there could potentially be a more competent version of Trump who takes over and the country will turn far right?
It's very possible, and we shouldn't underestimate Trump's competence. He was a political genius. He succeeded in something which is extremely difficult, a legislative program which robbed and attacked the working class and the poor, poured money into the hands of the super rich and the corporate sector on one hand, and maintaining a rabid base of popular support from the people he was shafting on the other hand. That's competence, takes skill. He also succeeded very effectively in destroying, smashing every possible thing you can see in the international arena that is beneficial and sometimes essential for human survival. His wrecking ball was very impressive. He wrecked the arms control regime, poured money into new and more dangerous weapons, sharply increasing the threat of terminal nuclear war, and the other major human issue, the pending environmental catastrophe. He raced toward the abyss, trying to maximize the use of fossil fuels, including the most destructive, eliminating the regulatory system, which somewhat mitigated the lethal effects, and we don't have much time. There's a decade or two to deal with this. His battering ram made a big difference. World Health Organization, which is essential for the health, the survival of huge numbers of people in poor countries all over the world, Africa, Yemen, elsewhere. He tried to destroy that, was quite successful in doing so. The COVAX consortium, international consortium, almost the entire world, which is in principle at least dedicated to trying to ensure that the poor and needy get the vaccines, that they're not monopolized by the rich. Hasn't been very successful, but at least it's trying. So Trump decided to wreck that. In fact, you look across the board, it's amazingly uniform. Anything that can serve human interest, destroy it. Everything that can harm human interest, maximize its impact. Harm the working class and the poor sharply through your legislative programs, and at the same time maintain a rabid base of support, which is close to half the country. That's pretty impressive. It's not incompetent. It's extremely destructive, devastating, but competent. So will somebody else come along who can pick that up? Maybe. Maybe somebody will come along who doesn't add to it the kind of vulgar, ridiculous antics that finally even alienated the people who he's serving with dedicated passion, the super rich and corporate sector. They did finally turn against him. It was very striking on January 6th. They were basically marching orders from the people who effectively own the country. Chamber of Commerce, National Association of Manufacturers, CEOs of major corporations. They all said straight out, game's over, get out, it's enough. And as I said, the senators started running for the